All right, ladies and
No,
gentlemen.
fuck. I was not ready for that.
All
I
right,
started
ladies and
cursing
gentlemen.
your dog.
Jack had to kick the dog out of the upstairs area that we are in here, and I decided it'd be pretty funny to start recording as he's sitting back down. So, as we are here right now on the Guys of the Galaxy podcast YouTube channel, for anybody that watched Jack's, Jack is over there on my end.
Hi.
Just Jack here with me. For anybody that watched his ranking video of the Star Wars movies, we decided that we also want to do one on characters. So what we did was we made our own templates and compiled our top 10. So basically, every photo you see is it's our top 10 favorite Star Wars characters, but we're going to rank them from 10 to 1. So who wants to go first?
You usually go first. I think I'm gonna go first on this one.
Okay. All right. Sounds cool with me.
All right. All right. Here we go. Shut up, phone. All right.
All right.
Let's start off with number 10. We're gonna put Tarkin at number 10.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's only really been in like 2 movies, but this guy is such a fucking badass. Whenever he steps in the room, he's that guy, you know? He's like the top ranking officer in like the entire empire besides like Vader and Palpatine. And this guy is just like, he is a not give a fuck kind of guy, and he's like kind of like a perfectionist kind of, and he's like the like shining image of what a perfect Imperial officer would be. And I think that I think his name is Peter Cushing or whatever.
Peter Cushing, yeah.
Peter Cushing, yes, exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah, but no, I think he does a great job as Tarkin, and he's definitely one of my favorite characters, even though for such a like a small character too. Number 9, we're gonna go with Ahsoka Tano.
Good old Soki.
Ahsoka Tano has been one of my favorite Jedi's ever since Clone Wars came out. I watched the original, I watched Clone Wars series when they came out, and she's been one of my favorite Jedi's ever since. And for her to come back in like the 2020 Clone Wars and all that, and be such like a, and be such like a big part of like the end of the Clone Wars and all that, fighting Maul and all that kind of stuff on Mandalore and all that. Just a great wrap up for the character in terms of like Clone Wars, and seeing her come back in Rebels too was a really cool surprise as well.
Oh yeah, and she's getting her own show, her own spin-off show. So that's
gonna be fun
really
to watch.
cool. Definitely, even like, cause I didn't watch Clone Wars as heavily as you did, but I did watch when it first came out, and like, you know, this character that get introduced originally, the fans, we were too young, we didn't really have this opinion, but the older fans did not like her at all. They found her annoying. They found her to be, you know, just a brat. Whereas we were kids, so maybe we could relate more to her because she was a kid, and like we kind of grew up with Ahsoka in a sense, you know.
Yeah.
And so like seeing her go from being just this Padawan that shows up in Clone Wars to now, like kind of the like fulcrum of Star Wars in a sense. Like she's like so heavily involved in almost everything that has to do with Star Wars. Like she was in all the Clone Wars. She was in almost all of Rebels. She's gonna show up in The Mandalorian, and she's getting her own show. Her voice shows up in Rise of Skywalker. It's like everything that's coming out now, she's involved in. So it's like she's kind of like the Iron Man, I guess, of like the Star Wars MCU. Everything that's being tied together and connected is because of Ahsoka.
And I love her whole like relation with like Anakin too, as like her, like him being her master and all that, and like her developing like her own ways that would be similar to his and all that kind of stuff, and how like she grows is similar to how he grows in a sense of still being like taking on all that responsibility and just being like a better Jedi, while also just like doing your own like freeform thing and just being all like that powerful and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, and her two very emotional scenes. One where she leaves the Jedi Temple,
definitely
make any grown man cry, and also in Rebels, her fighting Vader. Also, it brings a tear to my eye for sure every time I watch it, just because that's so, you know, heavy and so crazy. And then on top of it, it's like she's not just fighting Vader; she cuts off a piece of his mask and can see Anakin's eyes, and you hear his voice for a second, and it's just like, oh my God, what are you guys doing to us?
And her like her duel with Maul is like so like impressively well done too. It's like one of my new favorite duels pretty much in all of Star Wars. It's like so well done.
That was very groundbreaking for sure. They really hit it out of the park with that stuff at the end of episode 7 or season 7.
100%. Yeah. Number 8, we're gonna give that one to General Grievous.
Okay.
I think my favorite thing about this character is the concept of there just being this Jedi slaughtering machine out there. That there's like millions of Jedi in the galaxy, and there's this one giant like cyborg out there that like kills all Jedi in like such unique ways and
Yeah.
like takes their lightsabers as trophies and stuff like that. And he's
Mhm.
definitely like one of my favorite villains in the entire Star Wars universe, just because he's so intimidating in that fact that
Mhm.
like you can send like a bunch of Jedi to stop this guy, and he's still gonna come out on top with all their lightsabers and everything like that.
Mhm.
So definitely like an impressive villain,
Is
and like
there
especially
is there like I think you were about to say, is there a specific reason why you chose original Clone Wars
yeah,
animated?
because he was a fucking badass. That's
Okay.
why I chose him. He
Okay.
fucking kicked ass. Let's see. Number 7, Harrison Dula. Easily my favorite Rebels character by far. Like
Mhm.
just she's just such a like a I love pilots and like space combat and all that kind of stuff. So she kind of like resembles that pretty much out of all the other like Rebels characters.
Mhm.
But she's such a great leader too. Like she's so good in a leadership position and all that. And definitely just like such like a strong and brave kind of character, that you kind of need. And she's like kind of like the I would say like she's kind of what like can control like Kanan whenever he gets like angry and stuff like that. She's always there to like keep him like a cool head and stuff like
Yeah.
that, and just keep him civil.
Mm.
Definitely like probably like one of my favorite rebels too. Just a great.
Definitely somebody. There's somebody on my list that has a nice history with Harrison Dula.
All right.
Might be the
Uh,
yin to her yang. Some may say.
yes, yes. Number 6. How you doing, you old pirate? It's Lando Calrissian.
Nice.
Uh, like there's times where I think like, is Lando my favorite character? And I'm like, nah, but he's still really fucking cool.
Okay.
I love like he's like similar to Han Solo in the fact that they're both like just like scum pirate kind of like characters, but he's so much different in the fact that he's a lot more fashionable. He's got those capes
Yeah.
coming on.
Oh,
Where
yeah.
Han Solo is like a badass cool, like Lando
But also he just
Calrissian,
doesn't care.
he just doesn't care.
Yeah.
But like Lando is kind of just like he's like that cool,
Mm.
and also just like he adds so much more to the Han Solo character. Like he's where like Han got the Millennium Falcon from when he beat him in the Sabacc game and all that. He adds so much more to that character and just the Star Wars universe too.
Oh yeah.
And I definitely think he's like a very pivotal part in like Empire Strikes Back because like he's the one that invited them over, but he also invited the Empire over, so it
Mm.
creates that whole conflict in the movie.
Oh yeah.
But definitely like one of my favorite characters for sure.
Do you prefer Billy D. Williams' version or Childish Gambino's version?
That's a great question because Billy D. Williams is so classic and so well done, so perfect.
Yeah.
But Childish Gambino is so goddamn talented and nails the role so well. It's hard for me to really pick a difference between the two.
Okay.
But because it has such a more like iconic voice and this is the more like classic appearance, I definitely think I'm gonna have to go with Billy D. Williams. But I'm still gonna have to give like Gambino that fact of just nailing the role of Lando in Solo.
You need a man though, girl. Come see Lando.
He's definitely the smoothest character in the
Oh
entire
yeah.
Star Wars universe, and I love him for that.
For sure.
Number 5, keeping on the trends with pirates, we got Hondo Onaka, my favorite Clone Wars character.
Okay.
Definitely my favorite person hanging out at a Galaxy's Edge for sure.
So what was your what was your reaction to walking in that room and seeing that Hondo Onaka animatronic?
Oh my god, dude! I was like, first off, they did a really
Did I tell
well
you?
job
Did I tell
with
you
the-
beforehand about him or no?
I don't think you did. I
So
think
it was just complete surprise for you.
I think no. I think I saw like an Instagram post or something like that. You may
Okay.
have sent it to me of like him being there, but that was
Yeah.
like my first time seeing it, and they did so well with the animatronic. Like that thing looks so good.
Oh, yeah.
But just like seeing him and hearing him like talk to him and stuff like that, it's like I'm talking to Hondo Onaka, my favorite Clone Wars character,
Oh yeah.
and it's great too. He's so like scummy and just like
Mm.
he's always like gonna backstab you or anything like that, and that's what makes him
He's
great.
like Loki in a sense.
He's like Loki pretty much, yeah, exactly. And I love how he like refers to Jedi's as his friends and stuff like that. Like the Jedi are just like, Hondo, man, you really gotta stop doing this stuff. And he's like, my friends, come on. He's always like can find a way to get him out of a sticky situation, and I love him for that. He's such a great character.
Oh yeah, he's great.
Number 4, my favorite Jedi, Yoda. This was originally my favorite character in Star Wars, but obviously as time goes on, new characters come out, stuff changes, and all that kind of stuff.
Well, to be honest, there have been a good amount of times that you have changed your favorite.
That's very true. I
at
have
one
changed
point,
my.
so at one point it was Yoda.
Yeah.
At one point it was Chewbacca. At one point
Yep.
it was Boba Fett.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
And now it's Han Solo.
well, I didn't want to say that to spoil your number one, but
Oh yeah. Cut that out. Cut that out.
but yeah, I was literally gonna say, and your current favorite, who I'm not gonna say.
Oh, you
It's all
took
right.
too
It's all
long to
good.
pause.
It's
We'll
all good.
cut that out. We'll cut that
No, we probably won't, but it's all good.
out.
Ladies and
Yeah.
gentlemen, just pretend you didn't hear him say that.
Who?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, but definitely Yoda. Whether it's the prequels or the original trilogy, I think this character is just great. He's so wise, such a great mentor to either Luke or the millions of Jedi he's taught over his 900-year lifespan.
Oh yeah. Oh my gosh.
But yeah, no, I definitely think he's a great character. He can fight too. Like he's very good at fighting
Oh yeah.
for a 900-year-old 2 foot tall man. But
Very
no, he can definitely
unpredictable.
fight. Yeah.
Makes me wonder too. Like you mentioned all those years he was, the Grand Master of the Jedi. There's no way he remembered everybody's name. There is
You know,
no
I
way.
I, I want to agree with you, but honestly, I feel like he could remember everybody's name.
I don't know, man. I feel like they need to put in a show or something where like someone walks by and he's like, "Hey, Padawan." Ah, yes,
It's that guy who I made
my
a
friend.
knight like
He
hundreds of
pulled a
years
Hondo.
ago.
My friend.
My
Yes.
friend. All right, number 3, we got. This is a very close one between number 2 and 3,
This
and
is
it's
getting
very
real
hard for me.
nitty gritty here. Real
It's
nice.
really nitty gritty here, but I'm gonna give number 3 to Darth Vader.
Okay,
Objectively, probably the best Star Wars character, or at least the most popular. Like he's like
for sure. Definitely the
pretty
most
much.
popular.
It's the thing because like with like Han Solo or Luke Skywalker or any of those characters, like those people have like actors and stuff like that, and like yeah, you can kind of switch them out with other actors, but those like original actors, like they're gonna run out of like actors at some point that can
Yeah.
play these characters. But Darth Vader is just a character. There's like, I mean, yeah, there's like an actor behind it and a voice actor behind it, but you can like make like 100 like Darth Vader voice actors and stuff like that. He's like a timeless character pretty much, and just
Oh yeah.
the most iconic character in the entire Star Wars universe. And just him as a villain is probably like outranked by no other villain in any movie that I can think of, in
Definitely
my
most
opinion.
famous movie, probably movie character in general, and definitely movie villain.
Oh, definitely 100%. And there's a reason to that too, because he's like such a badass, so
Oh
important in the
yeah.
entire relevance,
Terrifying
like
for a little kid.
terrifying
Right.
for a little kid. But no, he kicks ass and he's a great character.
Okay.
Number 2, Darth Maul.
Okay.
This kind of changed up until recently. This is why I'm so like indifferent between the two characters, because this changed recently with like season 7 of Clone Wars. That's really the thing that kind of drove him to be, in my opinion, a more favorable character over Darth Vader. Just because it's like originally like it's just he's just in the Phantom Menace and he's like he just killed off pretty much in that movie, or technically killed off in that sense. But then he comes back in Clone Wars and I'm like, oh shit, this character that I have not seen in like what 10 years now is back in the game, and he's just looking to kill Obi-Wan, and he's such a pivotal plot to Obi-Wan's character too, with like killing I forget her name. What was it? Duchess. Yeah, Duchess
Duchess
Satine.
Satine, yeah.
Yeah, he kills Duchess Satine. It like it gives like Obi-Wan like a driving motive to pretty
Mhm.
much just like go after like him again, or not even really go after him again, pretty much. But yeah, no, I definitely think he's like a very pivotal character to like the Clone Wars, and then even like after the Clone Wars end, like he's still like prevalent in the fact that he's like a crime boss now. He's got all these gangs running around. He's got all these people working for him and all that kind of stuff, while still hiding in the shadows from like the Empire and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, I definitely think they really nailed this character in the sense of like expanding him from just the Phantom Menace in like the Clone Wars and Rebels and all that kind of stuff.
Mhm.
And then number 1, we got my favorite Han Solo. Han Solo's been my favorite character for like years now. Like I remember like you just like
Definitely the
brought up like,
longest I've heard you say this is my favorite character.
definitely for sure. Like because I know like you just mentioned that like period where I was like switching up my favorite characters and stuff like that. But originally like the longest was Yoda because that was just like my favorite as a kid. But now it's like Han Solo, and just because he's such a cool character, so iconic in the whole like original trilogy. Him coming back in the sequel trilogy was really awesome. Him having his own spin-off movie, like that alone, just having your own spin-off movie in the Star Wars universe is credibility enough, because it's just like there's not really like another character out there like besides him that's that damn popular that could get another one. Maybe besides like maybe like Boba Fett or Yoda, but like
Mhm.
he's like so well known already, and like just expanding on his story like in Solo and like throughout each of the original trilogy movies just made him more of a fleshed out and better and more interesting character to watch as like the movies go on and stuff like that. And he's definitely like been my favorite character for years, and I just love him so much.
For sure.
So to run quickly through it again, Number 10, we got Tarkin. Number 9, we got Ahsoka Tano. Number 8, we got General Grievous. Number 7, we got Harrison Dula. Number 6, we got Lando Calrissian. How you doing, the old pirate? Speaking of pirates, we got number 5, Hondo Anaka. Number 4, we got Yoda. Number 3, we got Darth Vader. Number 2, Darth Maul. Number 1, Han Solo.
All right. So, boom. So we're gonna have to pause for a second because this is not a character that was on your list, but when we were doing this, obviously, I was having a hard time coming up with number 10. So I had one who I do love, but as you were finishing up there, somebody popped in my head that I went, how the hell did I completely miss him? So we're gonna have to pause because I'm gonna have to readjust the images real fast. Okay, so we had to pause because I had to adjust something, but it is now time for my list. So hit that share, do that. All right, so here we are. You can see
Look at all those people.
My photos, and I have an honorable mention because I had to switch up something real fast. So starting with honorable mention, we're gonna go Obi-Wan, who was my number 10, but had to switch him out real fast. But Obi-Wan, obviously, everybody loves Obi-Wan. I don't think there's anybody that doesn't like Obi-Wan. I think he's obviously a great character, a very important character to the prequels for sure. Very meme-worthy character as well. Everybody loves those Obi-Wan memes.
Loved by all.
He is my honorable mention. So, like I said, I had to switch up, and I have a new number 10, and I think Jack's going to go, what the fuck? How did I not choose him? So my number 10 is Grand Admiral Thrawn.
You know what? I actually did think of Thrawn, and I really did consider like him and Obi-Wan and Tarkin for like number 10, but overall, I think I just picked Tarkin overall.
Okay. Understandable. And I love Tarkin as well, but watching, I already liked Thrawn from before he was in Rebels, but I love Rebels, and Thrawn in Rebels I think is so awesome. He's so ruthless. He's so smart, though, at the same time. Like, this dude's bloodthirsty, but he's not like Anakin, like just running into the battle. Like, he strategically plans every move out to why he's going to be successful, So, yeah, Thrawn's my number 10. My number 9, Dryden Voss. Obviously, member of the Crimson Dawn, who works for Maul. I just think in Solo, like, I really enjoyed his character. I love Paul Bettany, the actor who plays him, who also plays Vision in the MCU. He's a great actor. And then, his character, again, just he's also ruthless. Like, this guy is someone who you don't know if he's going to hug you or he's going to kill you. Or he's going to hug you and then kill you. Or he might kill you and then hug you. Like, you have no clue what this guy's going to do. He has a short fuse, and he has the markings on his face that get, like, more defined as he gets angrier and angrier, which I thought was such a really cool addition. So he's like, he's so ruthless, and he's like an animal, but at the same time, he's very regal and very, like, classy, So, he's my number 9.
What about unrefined?
So my number 8, talk about unrefined, is going to be Kira.
Ooh.
I love, similar to how I love Paul Bettany, I also love Emilia Clarke. I think she's an incredible actress, very beautiful actress. But the character of Kira was so cool. Someone who's, like, still loyal to Han, but at the same time, like, knows what she needs to do to, like, get ahead for herself, and also protect Han, which she had to make that decision at the end to, like, take control of the situation and also try and protect him, I just thought she was a really good character in Solo.
I want to see, like, her come back too in some sort of,
for sure.
Capacity.
I need a Disney Plus series or movie on Maul and Kira's adventures past Solo.
The Maul and Kira adventures coming to Disney Plus.
Yes, please. Gladly will take that. Number 7 for me, Poe Dameron, my second favorite character from the sequel trilogy. I just thought he was so cool. Like, he's the Han Solo of the sequel trilogy, in a sense. Like, other than obviously Han Solo being in there, if you take the new characters, he's definitely the Han Solo of the sequel trilogy. And I think, like, a lot of people maybe at the start thought that would have been Finn, but he definitely is the Han Solo. Like, if you compare them, like, he's an incredible pilot, best pilot in the Resistance. He's cocky as all hell, but you also love him. He's a lovable asshole, and Last Jedi is not, like, everybody's favorite, but I think Last Jedi did a lot to progress his character. I think he obviously had a way bigger role in Last Jedi, and out of all 3 movies, I like him most in Last Jedi because he's trying to be the leader, and he's just getting kicked while he's down, and then he, like, has that uprising where they, like, turn on them and they're like, no, like, this is the right thing to do. So Poe Dameron, number 7 for me.
That's one hell of a pilot.
It is one hell of a pilot. They fly now?
They fly now.
Yeah. Um, coming in at number 6 for me, Mandalorian, The Mandalorian, Din Djarin. Man,
Man,
what can I not say about this character? Just season 1 was incredible. I was staying up every like Thursday till 4 a.m. or Wednesday till like 4 a.m. turning into Thursday just to watch the new episode as soon as it came out because I was like, I need to see this as soon as it comes out. It's so good. The character is so cool, so mysterious. You know, you literally don't see his face until like the second to last episode. You know what I'm saying? Which was very clever the way they also did it to show the face to the audience without showing his face to the people in the universe because he can't. You know. Yeah, that I just think his character is so badass. I love Pedro Pascal who plays the Mandalorian. I think he did a really good job, and the Mandalorian is a really cool character who is on my favorites list, but hopefully can even move up as more seasons come out because I just think he's got a lot of potential to become an even better character than he already is.
that's such a good show too. If you haven't seen
Oh, yeah.
Mandalorian already, what are you doing?
Yeah, you definitely need to see Mandalorian if you haven't. Coming in at number 5, the second sister from Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. Yeah, she was definitely my favorite character in that game, which I'm currently playing through right now. If you want to see, I have a whole playthrough going on our YouTube channel. Yeah, she's definitely my favorite character from the game. One of my new favorite Star Wars characters in general, just because of how badass. And I kind of joke with Jack about how she's like the female Kylo Ren, which she kind of is, but she's also her own character. You know, she has her own stuff, and I just thought like her backstory was so cool. How she was a Jedi who like got captured during Order 66, got turned to the dark side, became an Inquisitor. Her aggression and her anger is like to me so cool, and it makes sense. It's not like she's just mad for no reason. It makes sense why she is mad and why she has so much hate in herself, you know. And her helmet is really cool. Fighting her in the game is awesome. Yeah, she to me is just really cool, and I want to definitely, obviously, she dies at the end of the game, but I definitely love to see somehow more of her as the second sister and maybe some comics or an appearance in a TV show if they do a TV show, you know, that takes place during that time before she dies. Or even seeing her as a Jedi, I think would really be cool. You know, they had in Clone Wars, they had like a small little 2-second cameo of Kanan Jarrus in there on like the hologram. So definitely, if she was also a Padawan like during that time, she can also make some sort of appearance like that as well. You know. So yeah, she is my number 5. My number 4 is Maul. Similar to Jack, I love Maul. Always have loved Maul ever since I first saw him. I think everybody loves Maul. Probably one of the most popular Star Wars characters there is. But just similar to Jack, Jack's like favorite version of Maul is the Clone Wars version of Maul. My favorite version of Maul is the Rebels version of Maul. I love how he has nothing. Like in Clone Wars, he rises up and he controls Mandalore and he kind of has everything. And then you see him like show up in Solo and he's on top of the world because he has, you know, he's controlling pretty much the drug world in the Star Wars universe and stuff. So I like Maul in Rebels because he has nothing. Like he's alone on like Mandalore or whatever it was. What was the planet he was on? Was it Mandalore or was it?
I don't think it was
No.
Mandalore.
What was it? It was the rundown planet.
Yeah.
Yeah, I forgot the name of it, but he's, you know, he's older. He's walking with like a cane. He has nothing, and that whole story arc of him trying to bring Ezra to the dark side was just so cool. And then I think every Star Wars fan kind of has certain scenes that they will just go on YouTube and just watch over and over. So for me, the scene in Rebels where he and Obi-Wan fight, where he, you know, eventually finally dies, is a scene I definitely go and like just go out of my way to watch whenever I'm bored, and is emotional as all hell because you're watching this character that you love, you know, his story finally come to a close, and you're also seeing not just him die, but you're seeing him die at the hands of Obi-Wan again, you know, and it ties everything in. It comes full circle.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Definitely a badass character.
Maul is definitely one of my favorites. Number 3, Kanan Jarrus. Like I said, Jack has Hera on his list, and I said the yin to her yang. Kanan Jarrus for me is coming in at number 3 just because like I definitely am a Rebels guy over Clone Wars, which Jack and I joke about because I'm a prequels guy. He's an original trilogy guy, but when it comes to the animated shows, he's a prequel guy, and I'm an original trilogy guy. So Rebels is my preferred animated show, and yeah, I love that show so much, and this show I'm forever grateful for because it introduced me to one of my favorite Star Wars characters. I think Kanan as a character was so cool. Someone who was survived Order 66. He was originally Caleb Doom, switched his name to protect himself to be Kanan Jarrus, and just seeing his character grow from like this guy who barely survived Order 66, who wants nothing to do with almost like anybody. He's just kind of like Han Solo, like just trying to get his money wherever he can. Watching his character grow from like this, asshole who doesn't really care to then a Jedi Master, without like eventually he gets knighted, but without even the Jedi Council and stuff around, like he still gets knighted in and he becomes a Jedi Master because he's such a good person and he trains Ezra, trains to being a little bit, and yeah, I just think watching his character go from like that asshole to like basically one of the best Jedi there is, really was cool and yeah, just became one of my favorite characters just because of the fact that he's such a good Jedi, such a good person, such a good teacher. And that really shows in the show where he's teaching Ezra, and almost every episode he's teaching Ezra a new lesson about the Force and lightsabers and being a Jedi, and his relationship with Hera is really cool. Very, very emotional when he dies. He sacrifices himself to save the rest of the Ghost crew. Don't think I was okay for a little bit after watching that scene, because I wasn't ready for him to go. I didn't want him to go. I wanted him to live on and eventually, hopefully, show up in something. But I understand why he went. I understand, it served the story and it made sense. So yeah, and hopefully the Kanan Jarrus, Caleb Doom bloodline is continued with their son, Jason Syndulla. Hopefully he becomes a character that they use in more stuff. I'm more sure if Dave Filoni has a say in that. Jason Syndulla will show up in something. Hopefully, maybe as a Jedi, maybe a smuggler. I don't really know, but I definitely want to see more of his son for sure. So yeah, coming in at number 2, Jack obviously knows this for sure. Number 2 is Anakin Skywalker. He was originally number 1 for a while, but I had to switch it, had to bring him down to 2. But I mean, now now that I go back and look at Anakin, he was really creepy and he's actually kind of cringy. But as a kid, this guy was my fucking hero, man. This guy was so cool. I wanted to be Anakin Skywalker. I thought he was so awesome. Preferably Revenge of the Sith Anakin, the hair, the scar, and all that. The darker robes for sure is what I prefer, other than young Anakin and like Padawan Anakin. I still love Anakin in general, but Revenge of the Sith Anakin is definitely my favorite like version of Anakin. And yeah, like I said, as a kid, I'm a prequel guy, so as a kid, this guy was literally my hero. For what most people would be Luke Skywalker, he was my Luke Skywalker, and in a sense, he's probably your Luke Skywalker too, because you grew up with the prequels, so you probably also idolized him and was like, this guy is awesome,
I don't know. Did I?
I'm trying to think. I'm just thinking,
I don't really
like,
remember idolizing him that much.
okay, maybe not. I just feel like
Maybe that was just you, man.
all right. Well, I feel like most kids that grew up with the prequels probably looked at him as their version of Luke Skywalker. And yeah, I just think his character is great. Still a little cringy with the acting, but I still love Hayden Christensen. I think he's a great character, and he's always going to be number 2 for me, just because like he was my childhood. Like he epitomized what my childhood was. Like as a kid, if you ask me who my favorite, any character ever was, it would be Anakin Skywalker for sure. So yeah, that's my number 2. And number 1, anybody that knows me, this is definitely not a surprise at all, and they knew this was definitely number 1. So number 1 for me
Star-Lord
is definitely Kylo Ren. I think, man. So I love this character so much. I love Adam Driver. He's definitely my favorite actor, and I love everything he's in. But him playing Kylo Ren, I don't know, it changed something for me. Like, changed the way I looked at characters. Like, I love all these characters, but like anything that it was almost like I was going to see the sequel trilogy movies, not to really even see them because they're Star Wars. I was going to see them to see what he was going to do next. That was like the sole purpose for why I was excited to see the movies, not because it was new Star Wars, but because it was a new Kylo Ren movie in a sense. Like, I was just super excited to see what was going to happen with his character next and where he was going to go. And so, yeah, he's just my favorite. Like, I don't know, growing up as any adult can probably relate to, you deal with a lot of like, not even adult, but like even you become a teenager, you start dealing with a lot of like anger and like emotional, like you start dealing with emotions and stuff. And like I was obviously not a teenager, I was still kind of an adult when he came around. But me personally, not to get into my personal stuff, I deal with a lot of I'm a very emotional person, very complicated person. So I can relate to him. Obviously I'm not killing my father and I'm not ruling a galaxy, but I can relate to him in the sense of he's he probably deals with depression, he deals with anger issues, he deals with emotions and not knowing how to control emotions. So watching him as this character, like watching this character, I can relate to that because I feel the same way. Obviously, like I said, not on that big level of killing people and stuff, but in my personal way of a normal human being, who's a very complex human, and I deal with a lot of emotions and anger and stuff. I was able to really relate to him. So yeah, I will forever be grateful to Adam Driver and to Star Wars for introducing me to my favorite just movie character in general, just because like I said, since 2015, like from I wouldn't say since 2015 because 2015 I didn't know anything about him, and I was still excited to see him. He looked cool, but like from past Force Awakens, like once Force Awakens was done, I was just going like I was excited for the next movies just to see what he was gonna do. I don't care about Rey. I like Poe Dameron, but I don't care about Rey. I don't care about Finn. I don't even really care about Luke and Leia and stuff like that. I was literally just super excited. Like I need Last Jedi and I need Rise of Skywalker just to see what happens to Kylo Ren's character, And as weird as it may be, in Rise of Skywalker, when Ben Solo dies, I feel like, man, I dealt with that like it was legitimately like somebody I knew passed away. Like after we saw that movie, I was here and I just like was in bed for like a day after, just being like, I don't know, man. Like I understand why it happened, but it was really emotional for me to like take on because of the sense that like this character was in my life and was like a very important part of my life from 2015 to 2019. Well, he still kind of is. So it's just like now that I know like probably not going to be seeing this character anymore. Adam Driver's probably done playing this character. It was very emotional for me, and seeing him. Anybody that's a fan of him, even if you're not a fan of him, I'm more sure you're not a big fan of him, but you probably looked at it and being like, man, I really want to see him go to the light side. I want to see him redeem himself.
Definitely, definitely.
So getting to see at the end him finally become Ben Solo again and redeem himself, although I wish we would have had a little bit more of him and get to see more of Ben Solo. I'm grateful for the time that I got to see him as Ben Solo redeemed and trying to be a good person. So yeah, that's my list. So going back down, honorable mention, Obi-Wan Kenobi, great character. 10, Thrawn, ruthless, love him. 9, Dryden Voss, ruthless and insane. Kira, beautiful and sexy as all. 7, Poe
Sexiest character in Star Wars.
For sure. 7, Poe Dameron, cocky flyboy that I love. Number 6, badass Mr. Mando himself. Number 5, Trilla, the coolest female character in Star Wars, in my opinion. Number 4, Maul. I can't say enough about Maul. Can't say enough about this man. 3, Kanan Jarrus, someone who I feel like taught me how to be a good person, even though it was through an animated TV show. I feel like he helped me in my real life learn how to become a better person and more of a patient person. Number 2, Anakin. He's my childhood hero. He's the man that I looked up to. And number 1, Kylo Ren, the man who taught me how to love. So that's
okay. Very
that.
weirdly specific, but all right.
Hey man, I just love that character so much.
All right.
So all right, yeah, that's our list. Hope you like him, Jack. What'd you think of my list?
I thought it was all right.
Okay, I like your list. I think your list makes sense, and that's the thing too. Is like Star Wars characters. Again, it is like a movie. It is a movie franchise, but these characters mean so much to us, and like these characters help us become the people we are. Like,
yeah.
Like you are a very like funny, cocky, comedical asshole in a sense.
Yeah.
Like, and so you get that from Han Solo and from Lando, and like you also have a very smart side to you, and you get that from Yoda, and like I relate to the characters. Like I said, Kanan, I think helped me become a better person, more of a patient person to try and help people. Kylo Ren showed me that I'm not the only person that deals with the things that I deal with. He deals with the same stuff, So for sure, I think the characters in Star Wars, although it is a movie, TV show, video games, these characters help us, especially because we grew up with them, help us become the people we are today, for sure.
Definitely 100%. Yeah.
So, yeah. But with that said, this is the end of the video. For those that don't know, we are a podcast. This is the YouTube channel for said podcast. Upload 4 podcasts every week. I think we're the only podcast in the world that actually does that. Because we're out here grinding. We do one about professional wrestling. We do one about nerd talk like Star Wars, Marvel, DC. We do one about theme parks because the second host, my co-host on most of the podcast, is a big theme park person along with me. I love theme parks. And we have one about video games where Double J right there joins us as the third chair. So make sure you subscribe if you're into any of that. Make sure you subscribe so you can catch all those. You can find the video versions of the podcasts on this YouTube channel. You can also find the audio version if you're an audio. If you like to listen instead of watch, you can find the audio versions on Spotify as well. And yeah, we're also we're more than a podcast. We have a bunch of YouTube videos like the one you're watching right now. We have a bunch of ranking videos for Star Wars, Marvel, Harry Potter.
We got our Let's Plays.
We have a bunch of gameplay stuff that we're doing. Jack is doing a gameplay of Spider-Man PS4. I'm doing a gameplay of Star Wars Fallen Order. Like I said, my main co-host, Peps, he is doing a bunch of theme park vlogs with obviously the coronavirus and stuff that's going on right now. Theme parks are reopening, and he is going to the parks to vlog and document his experience with the safety precautions and everything like that. So if that interests you, you can check those out as well. So yeah, make sure you subscribe so you get all that stuff and you have everything in your subscription box for sure. And with that said, thank you all for watching, and we will see you next time.